from SheNation.com. This is Joules. Now today is a nice talking video about the Tippmann TCR, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons and my view on power tuning. So first of all, what is the max power of this gun? With XPA, my host, XPA, or with CO2, what is the max power? The maximum power I get is over 46 joules. It's insanely powerful. With breaker balls, it's shooting at 400 plus FPS to the point you cannot read it from the chronograph. And then you get some 380, 390-ish kind of FPS shots. It's insanely powerful. And then I was like, hey, what about shoot some steel ball bearing? Well, fuck. It's jammed inside the barrel. Hit the steel ball bearing jammed inside. And then I shoot a second breaker ball and it hit the ball bearing and goes back. Totally a disaster. Took me like 10 minutes to hammer out that ball bearing. It's very, very stuck inside this barrel, but glad after we fixed it, it's still working fine. So I'm glad that it's still working, as it should be. But today, how many CO2 have we shot with all those tests? I have not thrown out my CO2 yet, so maybe we will. Oh, no wonder the XPA test is kind of lame because we're low on air. Anyway, so it's okay. With a little bit more pressure, you'll get like 280-ish kind of FPS, but it's leaking right now. So anyway, how many CO2 have we shot? Let me count the CO2 bulbs on the table before it starts to not work very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we shot. Okay, this is 5, 9, and 1 in the gun, I think. Okay, so basically 10 CO2 for today. Okay, put these down. I think 1 inside the gun. Nope. 9 CO2 only. I think I did 10. I don't know where the other one go. Anyway, so I think 9 to 10 CO2. Okay. So with 9 to 10 CO2, the gun starts to not function very well. I'm not sure if that is due to the jam issues that actually made the airflow go back into the valve and crash something. I don't know. Okay, but definitely not good. We'll let the gun rest for one day and then test it again to see how well it works. Maybe we need to detune it a little bit. Anyway, so right now, the gun is shooting 1 CO2 for 8 shot. But what I see right now is shooting kind of little bit too much, like too little shot per CO2, maybe about 7 only. Maybe somehow the vibration or whatever shocked the screw to back out or goes in, I don't know. Okay, so we need to wait 1 day to test again and see if it works the same way. But right now, okay, despite the abuse and stuff, it's still doing great. It's shooting, at least. But with XPA, it's not working fine. It's leaking from the back where the relief valve is. So something must have been worn out or not working really good or something like that. So we don't know yet. If we need to take the gun apart and do maintenance, we'll do that later on and fix it up. But if it works tomorrow without any maintenance or opening the gun, we're happy, right? So usually this gun with XPA, it should shoot about 280-ish FPS. But last video when we tested with XPA at the end, it shoots about 2.2 something and then 2.1 something, because I found out that the reason why is the air is leaking from the bottle and from here, so it's not working really good. So what I think about the high power on the TCR? Well, you can get very powerful because why? With 1 CO2 for 8 shots kind of setting, what happened is your CO2 inside, the liquid CO2 goes into the valve, and then when you hit, the hammer hits the firing pin and such, it fires the liquid CO2 out. And so there's nothing left to be freezing or cooling down inside. The liquid CO2 expands inside the barrel and it goes out. And that is why the shot is so powerful, because the expansion happens inside the barrel. So it makes use of the liquid CO2, which is what makes it so powerful. With the Tiberius C8.1 kind of style, the CO2 is vertically placed. Okay, what happened is there's no liquid CO2. The liquid all stays here. What you get is only the gas form of the CO2 that goes up here and shoots out. So this thing, you get like average of 28, 29 joules, max 32 joules. It's very powerful. It's very stable. It's very reliable. This one, you can get very powerful, up to 46 joules, but it is not reliable. It's not stable. It's not always the same. What happened is, if you shoot a few shots left the gun there for maybe a few hours. I think maybe the liquid CO2 might have expanded inside and your gun will leak or whatever. I don't know. The pressure may build up too much. It will start leaking. So it's not really like a gun that you can gas it up, okay? Do one shot, put it there for 4 hours, pick it up again, and expect it to fire that 400 FPS shot. I don't think so. So for the sake of safety, we might have to tune the gun down to fire 12 shots per CO2 or whatever, do a maintenance shop and see how well it does in that kind of power. I would say that, wow, it's very fun to be able to see a gun that can shoot up to 46 joules. It's insanely powerful. But even without the liquid CO2 trick going on, the first CO2 of the day, okay, we are seeing the power like 280 something with breaker balls, which is very, very good. So if you get that kind of power with breaker balls using this setup, it's actually very impressive already. It's the power of the Tiberius. So that means that this gun can withstand that kind of power. It's very nice. Even we tried steel ball bearing and it jammed. It managed to actually not fail or not get broken inside. So the durable internals is definitely a plus. And I'm sure that the gun will last, and so maybe after a few more testing, maybe tomorrow after the gun rests for a day or half a day, we'll try to see if the gun performs the same again. And if it performs well, we're not going to take it apart yet. If it's not performing well, then we'll start to take it apart and then see what happened. Maybe O-ring blown or whatever. We reset the valve, whatever. Okay, so we'll do other mods and stuff, maintenance work with it. It's basically a very simple to disassemble gun, just like a TIPX. So no big deal. So yeah, after today's testing, if you ask me, will you recommend? So it's so powerful. Will you recommend the Tippmann TCR for people who want to shoot with less than lethal? I will be like, not really. I will still choose the Tiberius. The thing is, okay, this thing can go very powerful, but it's not stable. You can shoot at like 46 joules, okay, fine. But after you see, even today, after 9 CO2, it's not functioning properly already. You need to wait 1 day for everything to cool down, the CO2 or the O-ring to settle down, whatever, I don't know. Something have to reset inside, and then next day you use it again, it's going to work. So this is not what I call reliable. Just like the Tippmann TIPX, you cannot shoot very powerful shots. Yes, you can tune it up to 24 joules. But then after, 3 or 4 CO2, your gun will shoot hotter than it should be. And then what happens is, the regulator is not going to work well. And then you will get fail. So yeah, battery kind of ran out. So anyway, continue. So yeah, will you actually trust the Tippmann TIPX or the TCR for kind of serious matter like self-defense, less than lethal and stuff? Well, I would say if you tune it down to a reliable power stage, then yes, it should work. But if you're looking for a very powerful gun that will shoot very powerful shots for you reliably, I will always go with a Tiberius. It will not screw up. It will give you very, very stable shot. It will not fail no matter how many CO2 you shot with the gun. Like with the Tiberius T8.1, I've been shooting this gun since I got it to now almost daily, or at least you can say bi-daily or weekly, whatever. I was shooting all the time with highest power settings. So it's shooting max of 32 joules and a average of 28, 29 to even 30 joules. So that's the average, okay? With that kind of power, it's very, very devastating. It's more than enough to put someone down the ground or even into the coffin. But it's very powerful, it's very stable. It's always performing like that. No matter how many CO2 I shot that day, it's always the same. Tippmann TCR, yes, it can shoot like to shock you, You can see over 400 FPS of breaker balls. It's great for video making, experimenting, having fun with high power at home, But will this work all the time like it is supposed to be? Will it actually survive in a very serious situation where you have to shoot your shot, go around somewhere, and then expect it to shoot to 400 FPS again? I don't think so. It's not going to work. The liquid CO2 inside the valve will expand over time and then go because the regulator, the relief valve, cannot stand that pressure inside. If it's going too high pressure, it will blow an O-ring or something. So it's not going to stand it, and then it will start leaking. And so it's not really the choice if you want the super high power. It's not consistent, but then it is capable of doing it if you're like doing a lab test experiment like I'm doing here. So that's pretty cool. If I think personally for this gun, the most reliable point will be first the settings from the factory, which is 1 CO2 for 1 long and 1 short magazine. But it's very low power, of course. Okay, not like a power you would use for self-defense or anything. But the other setting I would like to do is 1 CO2 for 12 rounds. With the 12 rounds, you don't get a lot of power, of course. It's not like you get all the crazy 30, 40 joules kind of setting. But it's very stable at that point. For 12 shots or 13 shots, you get about the 18 to 20 joules mark, maybe, okay, about that kind of mark. But you get more shots than a T8.1. With the Tiberius T8.1, you only get 9 shots with 1 shot in the breech and 8 shots from the mag, right? That one you have your extra round, and also don't forget that you also have a spare mag at the back and 1 spare CO2 inside the foregrip, so it gives you a little bit of this advantage, and also the optics. So I think personally, for reliable power from now on, I will try to tweak it so that this is what I want to do: the long magazine here, and then a short magazine right here for backup. Okay, I will want 2 CO2 inside the gun. 1 CO2 I will put inside the gun like this. Okay, this is a used CO2, don't worry. Okay, the other CO2 I'll put inside the grip like so, and then I'll flip the grip up so that it's going to lock here. Okay. Right now the CO2 is secretly stored here. It will not move, it will not drop. Okay, so I have laser, flashlight, optics, iron sight, long barrel, mock suppressor, and I have extendable stock. I have my backup magazine, my main magazine, and my CO2 can shoot 12 or 13 rounds after the tune-up, which means I can shoot like that, empty everything, safely, go to a location, and then I can eject my CO2 like this. Okay, and then now I can take out my spare CO2, shove it in, like so, slap, and then I'll have to eject my magazine, okay, take my other mags, and I'm good to go again. And now I have my 7 rounds to survive and get away. So for the serious matter, I think that this is the best setup for the Tippmann TCR. But as you all see in my lab test video, which I'm already done with right now, the Tippmann TCR is best to be shot with a lower power and not a very super high power at 46 joules. It is very fun to see that it can get up to that kind of power, but it is not reliable. It's shooting liquid CO2, and you cannot control liquid CO2. Liquid CO2 can be very powerful, or it can be very devastating for your valve as well. If it actually expands inside the valve, it will start leaking like shit, and it's not going to work. So I would prefer to tune down the gun in order to get it to shoot properly with CO2. So in our future video, we'll also try to get a gun shooting well on XPA and such, so we can have some fun with XPA as well. So right now, I would say that the Tippmann TCR is very well built, given that I have abused and over-tuned the regulator, and it's still living alive, and I have not disassembled it, whatever. It's still working very, very well. So Tippmann TCR, good gun. It's a very well built gun. We have did a lot of abuse to the regulator that no paintball players will do it. I don't think even Tippmann would do that. But right now we can see it's doing really, really well. So I'm very, very happy about the gun's build. But will I use it for less than lethal? Well, maybe if for pepper ball tactic, yes. For bricker ball tactic, I'll still go with the Tiberius guns. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and like. Bye-bye!